Hey,
Yo,
welcome to another episode of the Daily Walk Show. I be Dee Turner. Dee Turner. I can't even say my own name, man. I be Dee Turner. Got my man, Aki Bang, my other guy, the Reverend Brother Pastor Deacon Dr. Jasper, and my brother Scott's Rice. Peace, y'all.
peace.
What up, though?
What's going
So,
on?
everything is good, man. Everything's good. There's so many things for us to talk about. I'm probably like, let's just dive right in. But yeah, let's start with the pleasantries. How's everything?
Everything is
Not,
good, man. We gotta talk about Trump. We gotta talk about buckshot.
Yeah,
We gotta talk
yeah,
about some shit, man.
yeah,
Buckshot.
yeah. There's a lot.
You gotta,
There's
you gotta
definitely a
talk
lot.
about Megan the male horse.
Megan the Stallion.
Megan the
I don't even know that bitch, man. I don't know who that bitch. I don't even listen to her music. After Hot Girl Summer and Tori, I was like, I don't even know who that chick is, man.
I didn't even I can't even tell you one song that she's made. Like I'm like you, Maul. I'm completely tuned out from her, you know.
Wearing
Yeah.
an
this wet ass pussy. That's the only one I know about.
Oh,
wearing
that
an
was her
attack
song.
on
Okay.
her.
That's the only one I know about, man.
You know what's crazy is we will probably have to bleep wet ass pussy and bitch, even though the video itself is on YouTube, like and monetized. Like we probably can't say the shit, but like they can. Shit is crazy. Like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
bet you if that motherfucker run for president, she'll fucking win too. And all these bitches be out here twerking and you'll have 50-year-old bitches talking about real ass nigga give a fuck about what the fuck? You 50 years old talking like you one of these young bozos. Oh man, these women is
I
boy.
I talked about it before when wet ass pussy came out, man. I was at the store and this heavy set chick. She was in the car like this. Oh,
I
Jesus
remember
Christ,
that. Yeah,
man.
that's one of my more memorable moments on since we've been doing this. Is that when you is when you do that lady, you got the side view and you like.
I'm like, yo, what
I
are you
re- I
doing? Oh my
remember that.
God, man.
Listen, these motherfucking whores don't believe in Jesus, man.
we
They
about to be so
believe in they,
demonetized. We gonna be demonetized before we even got the opportunity to
oh,
get.
I'm sorry. These women believe in Megan Thee Stallion more than they believe in Jesus Christ. They believe they could be a hot girl before the Lord will save them. I don't want no parts of them. I think we should reboot this shit and start all over with 144,000 people. That's it. Let the prophecy fulfill itself, man. If I ain't in 144,000, fine, so be it. But we don't need a million Megan Thee Stallions and a million little Dirks. We don't need them. We don't
You know,
Now,
need
I appreciate the lighting on your face talking like this.
Yeah,
Mom.
yeah, yeah. It's,
Like,
it's something
it's
very
definitely it's
ominous
something
about it,
about
right?
it. Yeah, yeah.
them.
You need to keep it just like that, man, all the
Keep
time,
it
bro.
just
I
like
love
that.
it.
It's like a good.
I feel like you gotta buy a
Nah.
fireplace and shit.
I am
Yeah,
the light. What you seek is fire.
There you go. There you go. There you go.
yeah. I like that.
So yo, where do we start, man? Like it's a lot, yo.
We may as well start with the elephant in the room, right?
Okay. All right.
Ox guy, Donnie winning the election.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually expected you to be really happy about that.
I
Like
did too. What's going on, man? Where's the joy?
I'm here, bro.
You ain't think it was gonna happen? You thought shit was a game? You thought it was all fun and games and shit, didn't you?
Yeah.
Shit is all fun until it's real.
He is the most hated man in the world. You know what I'm saying?
That's the black
But he
man.
might be the most greatest motherfucker in the world.
That's the black man as well. Who are you talking about?
Talking about the Teflon Don. I'm talking about my man Donnie. This dude has had 6 bankruptcies, 34 felony accounts, 1 conviction, 2 impeachment, 2 pending, sexual assault. On February 17th, Trump stopped the insurrection 11. January 6th was the insurrection. He got banned from Twitter and said, fuck that, I'm going to get my true social up. And won in game 7. And then Twitter brought him back. Hold up.
Yo, Trump is my G, yo. Like,
He's a
I ain't got.
Teflon Don. We're going to talk about, ladies and gentlemen, the one and only Donald J. Trump.
Yeah, I'm not doing that. Like, even if I had a button here to press for applause, I would not press that shit.
A few moments later.
Yo,
you neither, man. Oh, racist. Damn.
You did that. Like, this nigga deserves the adulation and congratulations. Like, nah.
Yo, Donnie, we knocking on your door for them stimmies, man.
See?
Knocking on your door for them stimmies. Knocking on your door for the help. You better, yo, don't get your toupee knocked. I'm saying.
That's exact. See, yo, Mo, you bring up a very interesting point, because I'm convinced that the reason why he received the vote overwhelmingly is because many Americans believe that when he gets in office, he's going to be giving out stimmies again.
That's true.
They do, yeah. It's we in a bad spot, man. We're in a bad.
We are in a shitty spot, yo. Like,
really shitty spot, man.
I have to say,
the magnitude of the level of shit that we are in, man. Like, this is not gonna get monetized at all, because I can't not curse about this shit. This shit is crazy.
Yo, listen, I want to be in Trump's gang. Like, gang me in whatever gang Trump got. I want to be in that gang. Like, I want to bang Trump.
Pause, man. Look,
we banging Trump for the fucking 2025.
Bro,
that's banging Trump. That's the new set. 2025.
That's what Bentley said. That's what Bentley said about Diddy, bro. We got to be careful, family. Like, you gotta be careful what you ask for, brother. You don't want that.
Trump set.
He want to be jumped in.
Hey, man.
I be with a gang of diplomats.
In the words of the great
Republicans.
In the words of the great African American philosopher, rest in peace, the great ancestor Nipsey Hussle, fuck Donald Trump.
It's a fact. Like, I gotta agree there, man. Like, I don't, you know, I don't even know where to start with adding with offering my perspective, because it's such a very long, perhaps drawn out one. Yeah. But I just know that if ever you were concerned, you know, people were concerned about somebody coming into office and being the leader of not just this country, but the free world, this is the time to be very worried and afraid of the future. Like, seriously. And I'm just, I don't know. Like, I'm in some ways I'm disappointed. But the other side of it is that I'm not I'm not surprised, right? Because I don't know, man. The dude's rhetoric is just, I don't know. I'm just gonna stop there, man, because I will go on this.
Maybe Puff Daddy should endorse. I mean, Trump should endorse Puff Daddy, like free Puff.
Oh, I'm sure that Puff is happy that that Trump is president, because that's his only chance of getting out of the Bing, and that legitimately could happen, because we know they had a relationship.
That's right.
I think that I think it's a sad time for our country, but I think it's a sad time for y'all country, man. I don't claim this land rock that we find ourselves on, but I think that when shit hits the fan for Black people is when we become our greatest selves. Like, when we feel like a level of like we can kick our feet back, you know, and we can chill or whatever, man. Like, you know, we get complacent and, you know, we end up putting ourselves back, man. So I look forward to the ingenuity and the Kuji Chakalia, the self-determination that comes out of our people from this. But it's definitely gonna be there's gonna be a ton of collateral damage. I don't like the way that the elder generation feels about this. My mom is like legit, like, my mom really feels My mom, man, like she got to telling me stories about like her traveling in the South with her parents and them having to use like the colored only, like, you know, demonstration or whatever, man. And
Yeah.
I don't think that we are reverting back to that sort of situation. But to think that it is impossible would be incredibly naive. That's not that long ago.
Absolutely. That's
And
right.
with Trump's
Yo,
rhetoric, like with
yeah, cause
Trump's rhetoric, like when if you know if it walks like a duck, if it quacks like a duck, like no matter what, like you got to take a person for their word. Like he just last week went on Joe Rogan and said that his favorite military general is Robert E. Lee, who was the general of the Confederate Army, right?
That's
So
right.
to
That's
be
right. Yeah.
all about winners and losers, yet you still endorse the loser of the Civil War general, like, yo, man, it tells something, man. So I
It
would
does.
not be surprised if Black people, we really found ourselves in a precarious situation because we didn't take this seriously enough.
Especially Black people.
Especially always.
Yep. Well, what was you gonna say?
yo, I forgot, man. That shit, them niggas backdoor. I keep thinking about it. Like this country keep backdooring us. Like no matter what we do, they backdoor us, man. Like
Pause.
don't you ever see like somebody from another nationality just look at you like you're not supposed to be here? Like I get that feeling from other nationality people. Like when they see us, they sigh. Like you ever like I be hating when I hear people sigh because I be like, damn, you a negative motherfucker. Like you can't just be thankful to see me. You gotta sigh to control your thoughts.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well. Yeah. I don't. Yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead. Ak, I'm sorry. Ak, you
Like
was
I
gonna
told
say.
before, like I was cut the deck on this whole situation. I saw it coming. I didn't think it was going to be annihilation like that. Like Kamala got annihilated.
She did. Yeah.
I was looking at the statistics.
That's
That's what I was
Megan
trying to keep
Stallion
up.
fault. Bet that.
And let me see if I can add it to the stage.
Mm-hmm.
And these are the statistics of the blacks who voted for Kamala, you know what I'm saying, and the minimum who voted for Trump. Can I go to the next page or can I click it?
It looks like there's just one here. That's it. I think if you have multiple pages, you got to add each one as a separate thing. But I think let's stay on this exit poll for a second.
Yeah.
I think it's very telling, and there's a lot of good data here, you know, for us to unpack. So let me ask y'all a question, because I one of the things that I found very surprising, particularly coming out of our neighborhood, is the support that Black males had for Trump over Vice President Harris. So and in my mind, I was trying to think about it, and I was
Definitely want to talk about that.
Yeah, I was trying to think about it. I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, damn, like what is it? Like, am I the well, am I and the others that might share the same belief in the context of this? Are we the crazy ones? You know what I mean? Like, I'm gonna tell you straight up, I voted for Harris, right?
Listen, listen.
Hold on. Let me just finish. So I voted for Harris, right? And not to say that I fully believed that she can address all of my concerns or all of our concerns as a community. But fundamentally, I believed, and I was speaking with Ak about this. We had a conversation about this a few days ago. I think it might have actually even been on election day we spoke about this.
Yeah.
I told Ak that I fundamentally believe that she has the capacity to have the best interests of our community at heart. And that's the reason why she got my vote. I understood, but I also understand that whenever I vote, that whatever elected official that has the benefit of gaining my vote, I know that they're not going to do everything that I would like them to do, or everything that we would collectively like them to do for the community. But if you could fundamentally represent the social and economic needs of the community that I come from and that I represent, then that's who's going to get my vote, which is the reason why I voted for her.
Mm-hmm.
On the flip side of that, I'm thinking about Trump, and I'll make this very brief. I'm, originally from New York City, born and raised, Brooklyn. I'm sure everybody knows that watches our show. Born in the 70s, raised in the 80s and 90s. I am very familiar with the racist tendencies of the Trump family historically.
Mm-hmm.
I understand that they've had this overwhelming capacity to further disenfranchise marginalized communities across New York City. And I'm sure it was nationally wherever they had properties, but I'm speaking specifically about New York City because that's where I was born and raised.
No doubt.
You know what I mean?
And that's where they built their empire.
Exactly, precisely. So the thing for me is, if you are of that same generation and you represent the same demographic that I do, how could you find any goodness in Trump coming from New York City? How could you even think that he would have your best interests at heart? Not you specifically, not a black person, a black male specifically. Even if you were able to make it out and, make some success about yourself, you might not live in the city anymore like I don't. But you still have ties to our communities. Disenfranchised, marginalized, socially and economically depressed black folks and brown folks across this country. How the fuck could you find it in your heart, and how could you even make an argument to say that Trump is going to represent your best interest? Right? And I've heard this one cat say, because one of the big things from my perspective is having, in terms of coming up in New York City, is having a vivid recollection of the Central Park 5 when that was going on. And I think Ak and I spoke about this as well.
Yeah,
right? And had me, or Maul grown up in Harlem, even you, Z, if we grew up in Harlem, we could have very well been in the park that day.
No.
And been a part of the Central Park 5, having to go through the same racist bullshit that they went through. Now, the dude, we know what Trump did with that. He took out the full page ad, whatever that ad said. I can't recall, but it was basically
it was saying that they need to bring back the death penalty
right
because of that case.
Right. So yeah, so he was putting a stamp on that. I heard a brother say, well, how could you blame Trump for doing that after they already copped to it? Right? Because apparently when the ad came out, Trump had went ahead. I mean, at that point, the guys at Central Park 5 had already said they did it, despite, nobody is even considering the fact that they were all coerced into saying they did it, but that they did it. All right, whatever, right? But then to find out that they didn't do it, where was the retraction by Trump?
Where was the apology? Anything?
Where was the apology? Exactly. So then you get to see, I know exactly who I'm dealing with here. But you still choose to vote for him? This is the same cat that in Madison Square Garden, we had the racist, what was the guy's name? Tony, what was the comedian that came out? I can't remember his name.
Tony Hinchcliffe.
Hinchcliffe, yeah. Tony Hinchcliffe comes out just directly, right? Makes these horrible jokes, racist latent jokes, right? About Puerto Ricans, Jews, black folks, right? And then I didn't even hear Trump come out afterwards and say, listen, I don't know what happened there. He definitely shouldn't have been up there. I wish somebody went up there and pulled him off. There was no apology at all. And this is the motherfucker you still casting your vote for?
It proves a set.
So listen, man, I almost feel like people that have black people particularly that have casted their vote for Trump is very similar to the role that Samuel L. Jackson played in Django.
No doubt.
Hmm.
I agree.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So that's where I feel like, yo, something is happening here with the black folks in this country, at
Yep.
least the ones that are willing to cast their vote.
Mhm.
Why are they not seeing it? Am I the one that's going crazy? And there's a lot more that I could dive into about that, but that's my feeling about it. So I just wanted to share that.
Isn't the same thing that happened with Joe Biden back in the days of the Central Park Five, where they was calling them predators?
You're conflating Joe Biden and Hillary Clinton. Hillary Clinton called
No, Joe Biden did it as well.
the super predators comment.
No, he was extremely tough on predators and stuff, and wanted to put more arrest more violent crimes and as predators and stuff like that. Joe
Yeah,
Biden was doing that in '88 too.
predators need to be arrested. Who was he referring to as predators? Because I think we all would
Black
agree.
people, what you mean?
Did he say black people are predators?
Yeah, man.
Hungry little dudes in the street trying to survive.
Yeah, black people as
Super
predators. We're
predators.
not called white people as predators back in the days. Come on.
Yeah,
You know
but
what I'm saying?
you
They
know what?
was on that.
Let me say this though.
Hold
Like,
on, hold on. My
okay,
turn,
I'm sorry.
man.
I'm
My
sorry.
turn.
Go ahead.
So,
I
like,
apologize.
when Biden was in office, when Barack was in office, I lost my job. They were doing the Captain Napton situation and stuff like that, and they was pushing a lot of jobs to Mexico and stuff like that, right?
Okay.
They had Mexicans working with the company and stuff like that, not even paying them for translation and everything like that, just to suit them up. Think that it was, you know what I'm saying, going to be a big, being in big positions and stuff like that in the job, and we just basically lost our job. Trump brought the jobs back, you know what I'm saying, into the office. I think that black people, yeah, that's what happened.
All right. I'm gonna let you finish
Yeah,
because
that's
I'm
what
I'm
happened.
gonna dispel that, but I'm gonna let you finish. Go ahead.
Okay, that's what happened with me.
Mm-hmm.
You
Okay.
know what I'm saying?
All right.
Trump dropped. Okay, damn. This is hard to show. This is hard. Go ahead, bro.
All right, go ahead. What you about to say, man? Because I experienced it.
How
You
the fuck
didn't.
did Trump bring the job back to the office, bro? Trump.
He literally shut it down and shut down the companies that was in Mexico and stuff like that and brought it back to America. He did that.
So I don't want to interrupt your perspective. So you got more to say? I'll let you finish.
Yeah, I think that a lot of promises, you know what I'm saying, based off of identity politics have been happening for years, especially with Barack Obama. Like, I voted for Barack Obama because he was black.
Okay.
I didn't understand no policies. I didn't want to be a part of it. I just wanted to be part of a movement to get this dude in office and stuff like that. And what he pushed, LGBTQ shit, it had nothing to do with us, even in his own cities. You know what I'm saying? Like, they people was getting murdered left and right, and he did nothing about it. He cried about the people that got killed in the school shooting because school shootings is horrible, but also our cities is horrible and stuff. And we wasn't, and blacks at the time and stuff like that, as normally, they're not holding the community accountable because we're in fear of each other. We hate each other.
I want to. I personally want to thank Barack
hold up,
Obama
I'm talking, man.
for pardon.
And it's like, we are getting to the point where we got to start thinking different. I think that's what happened. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like every time they use the identity politics, and you can see how, you know what I'm saying, it's a black woman, and you know what I'm saying, you ain't supporting your own woman, your sister, your mother, and all types of shit. What the fuck you mean? We love our mothers and sisters and everything like that. We're tired of the same old bullshit that they keep on, the hoodwinks that they keep putting to us on a regular basis. Now, I think that a lot of people got jokes on the aspect with Trump because during the pandemic, you know what I'm saying, he was running the office. We don't know how Trump is going to be now that the pandemic is over. You know what I'm saying? It was an obligation for the government in order for the money to start flowing in because people needed help, because people was losing jobs, companies was going down, everything like that during that time. You know what I'm saying? He actually didn't do that shit. It wasn't a Congress who actually did that.
It's always the Congress. Right.
So,
Go ahead,
but the illusion, I single-handedly did that. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of shit happened. People was getting paid during Trump office. There was no war in Trump office. You know what I mean? So people started seeing that shit. You know what I mean?
You're saying that there was no war You talking about this?
There was no war during Trump's administration,
Okay.
and he was
That
bringing
we
the troops,
took part
and he
in,
was bringing the
right?
troops back. He did do
You
that.
say
That was a fact.
I just want to confirm. So there was no geopolitical unrest that the United States of America was involved in during Trump era.
Name one.
No, I'm asking. That's what you're saying, right?
Yeah, I'm saying that.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right.
You know what I'm saying? And people was making money during the Trump era, but like I said, it was based off the pandemic situation. You know, there were opportunities that people jumped on and started their businesses, and they're very successful now. Some of them went down. I don't know.
But can I just say this?
Yeah,
people
sure.
started businesses out of necessity,
Yeah.
right? Because there were no jobs that they could actually go to, because although we were starting to come out of pandemic at the start of his his time in office, people were still operating as if there was a pandemic. Organizations or companies were still operating as if there was a pandemic, because the experience with that was one that was unprecedented. So people were still largely moving very scary. So I think that's the reason why there weren't really any opportunities, and people needed to eat. So they just found an opportunity to just, create businesses,
Yeah, there was opportunities out there that money was pushing out there. You know what I'm saying? PPP loans or other type of shit.
Yeah.
I think that the fear of during the Biden's administration and the migrant situation, and motherfuckers ain't making money, shit is expensive. You know what I'm saying? Trump capitalized on that shit to pull through in Game 7. You know? And this motherfucker it was 2 assassination attempts on this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Like, I gave you the list of the shit that this nigga went through.
That's my big homie.
You know what I'm saying?
Don't
Like,
be talking
this nigga
about my
went
big
through all
homie.
of this shit and
Word
still
up. I
became the
defend
president.
Trump.
The 47.
I
He's
defend
47
Trump
cents
truth
right
and
now,
nail,
bro.
man.
He's 47 cents. He's not 50 cents. He's 47 cents right now, bro.
That's my G, son. I'll be at your door. Like I had them people knocking at your door, busting out your windows, man.
Harris speeches. First of all, she didn't do anything through the 3 years that she was there. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Well, you know what she did do?
People say that.
She went to Africa.
Why do people say that?
She went to Africa pushing LGBT.
What does the vice president? Tell me what the vice president does, and then
she went to Africa. Can I tell you? She went to Africa pushing LGBT shit to motherfucking Africans, and niggas like, no, what is this? We don't do that shit here. She did that shit. So while she was over there, everybody was sneaking over here.
I'm glad y'all have something positive to say about Africans.
But that's what she did. This is facts.
Listen, they hoodwinking us.
She did do that.
They threw us through all this drama on TV about who's gonna win. Motherfucking let her win the next year, so everybody can shut the fuck up and we can all be happy. Let Trump have his 4 years, and then let her get 4 years. Nobody else in. That's it. This was the biggest political gimmick of all times.
Trump in Game 7. Like I
Game
said,
7. This was America. I want America to know when they watch this shit, everybody watch this shit, this was the biggest political gimmick ever. The most money probably ever spent ever for a campaign.
Bitcoin skyrocketed.
Bitcoin would have skyrocketed regardless.
Skyrocketed through the election.
The thing, okay, if I may, I've defended against the narrative that misogyny is the reason why a lot of brothers did not vote for Kamala Harris, but this shit is making it really hard, man. Like, Trump literally can do no wrong in the eyes of his followers, and you've kind of outlined that. Like, you said that Trump saved your old job that you no longer work at still.
I didn't say he saved my old job. I didn't
You
say
just
that at all.
did. You
No,
just
I did
said
not.
Trump brought the jobs back to your old office.
He bought the jobs back. He bought my job back. That shit, like they shut that shit down.
Are you working there?
That office.
Are you working there?
No, because the other motherfucker said, nah, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna close this shit down because it was the president did embezzlement.
That's convenient. Okay, listen, bro.
The president did embezzlement. That's why the shit shut down. You know what I'm saying?
Bro,
but that has nothing to do with a president at all.
Listen, you're talking about how high prices are right now, as if that's not directly related to the funds that Trump gave to people during the pandemic, right? Whether that's the stimulus checks or the PPP loans, that money has to come from somewhere. You feel the last administration's wrath in the next administration.
True.
The economic times that we are in are a direct result of A, the pandemic, and B, how Trump dealt with the pandemic. But it's looking like it's the Biden administration. We will see we will see the economic reverberations of the Biden administration once Trump takes office in the next 4 years, right? What we're seeing now, as far as Trump's prior administration, the reverberations, him packing the courts with conservative judges, which goes to Dee's point in regards to the Central Park Five as to how they police and criminalize particularly Black communities and how they view us. If we were just dealing with Trump, that would be one thing. We're dealing with the people that Trump puts into office and puts into power.
This is true.
And because of that, you can look at the first administration and see the damage that they have already done.
Look what they did to Mayor Adams.
We're all law-abiding citizens at this point.
All right, I'm gonna stop.
All law-abiding citizens at this point.
Look what they did to Mayor Adams.
But
they did that on purpose.
But if God forbid any of us tomorrow ended up in front of a fucking judge, if you can honestly look me in a straight face and tell me that you would rather a motherfucking conservative judge that is pro-trans rights and is a fucking hippie and likes drugs and all of this other shit, if you would tell me that you would rather a conservative judge than a liberal judge, you're lying through your teeth. So we have to honestly look at this shit as far as the future is concerned. Everybody here has children. We got to look at this as far as the future is concerned. What type of future are we giving our kids, man? You don't.
Okay, so can I say something real quick?
Your baby's in front of a Trump appointed.
Hold on. Can I say something real quick? So you was talking about the aspect of how Trump administration rubbed off on the Biden administration, but what about Barack Obama's administration rubbing off on Trump administration? Because there was a lot of Black people getting killed during the Barack Obama administration, and we don't want to talk about. You know what I'm saying? It was a lot. Like we're still talking about situations that actually got reversed. You know what I'm saying? Like all the main characters that's been on the walls that people are painting on the walls, but under you know what I'm saying under Barack Obama's administration.
That is because of Trump's people having a knee-jerk reaction to a Black man being in office. How is Obama supposed to control that? Right? He put a Black head of the Justice Department, Eric Holder, who's a stand-up brother with a Black wife, who has a solid record. He put him as head of the Justice Department. That's the most important thing that you can do.
Right.
But you can't stop
But there's no Black hate bill.
You can't stop. Yeah, I agree.
But there's no Black hate bill.
Obama's administration.
There was a Chinese hate, it was an Asian hate bill, but there's no Black hate bill.
Obama's administration for Black men in particular was a complete failure. And if Black men articulated that as the reason why they're not going to blindly follow Kamala Harris, I would respect it. But Black men are trying to articulate the things that they respect about Trump, and that's where you fucking lose me, dog.
So like I said, there was no Black hate bill
out of his mouth.
Bro, there was no Black hate bill. Was there a Black hate bill doing the Democrats?
How he feels about us, dog.
Fuck that. Was there a Black hate bill during the Democratic Party when Biden was in office or Barack Obama was in office?
Good question, Ak. Let me look it up. No, of course.
Of course not, motherfucker. So it's like, you know what I'm saying?
I never said
they did it fucking with the Asian hate bill immediately, didn't they? Didn't
bro.
they?
Yes,
Didn't
bro.
they?
And it was bipartisan.
Bro, didn't they do the Haitian hate bill immediately?
Yes, it was bipartisan, bro.
You can't say the R word.
They motherfuckers that gave Jews reparations, bro. Yeah, I get it. I'm frustrated.
Okay, what the fuck are you talking about when it comes to that?
I'm frustrated with the entire system, but when I
tell we both are.
If somebody says, "Hey, I'm a racist," I'm not gonna be like, "Oh man, maybe you're not." I'm gonna be like, "Okay, cool. I'm gonna take it at face value." What the fuck does Trump need to do to tell you? Like,
therein lies the issue.
Kamala Harris mispronounces something or says something with a black accent, and she gets fucking skewered. Trump can come to fucking Detroit and say that America's gonna end up like Detroit if Kamala gets in office, and motherfuckers still fucking vote for this motherfucker, dog.
Hey, I know my little nappy head girl.
His followers don't give a fuck.
I know that little nappy head girl, Candace Owens, happy too. She happy because she was bashing Kamala Harris. Oh, I want to see. I gotta watch a Candace Owens video after this.
Nappy hair is beautiful, man. Nappy hair is beautiful. Embrace your nappy hair, sisters. I'm sick of these weeds.
I know. I love nappy hair, but I gotta call them what they are. Nappy hair, little nappy hair.
I'm not trying to call a spade a spade. I mean, well, I say it like this. I'm not acting like people are not racist on both fucking sides, yo. They are.
Just all lives matter, this shit.
They are. They both fucking racist. What are you talking about? You think that any of these motherfuckers really got something for black people out here?
So let me just step in. I love
before you say this, D. Before you say this,
okay.
You thinking that left wing, right wing ain't the same fucking bird?
I think all white people are racist. Are you asking me this?
No, I'm talking about. Well, there's white people in the fucking Democratic Party too, right?
I don't believe all white people are racist.
Okay, I'm glad we got that figured out. Listen. my fucking first best friend,
fucked up.
My first best friend, my man Pete from Aurora, Colorado. Shout out to my man Pete. I love Pete to death. I would take a bullet for Pete. Pete is like the whitest white person that exists. I've told Pete that he's fucking racist. I love Pete, but you can't be white and not be racist in this country. Of course, they're fucking racist. The Democrats are racist.
What
the Republicans
is that, bro?
You asked me if I thought that I'm telling you yes, they're racist. I'm agreeing with you. Yeah, they're racist. The Democrats are racist.
That has nothing to do with the main issue. That has nothing to do with the main issue that we need to be seeing.
Which is what?
Like, regardless of who won. You know what I'm saying? I crack jokes on the shit. But regardless of who won, that shit has nothing to do with the fucking people that are black people, that we are the lowest of the totem pole, and we have not taken care of each other. And like I always said, we'd never be on fucking code.
So I gotta interject.
Listen,
So
I ain't every black person. I ain't speaking up for every black person. Let me nip that shit in the bud right now. I ain't speaking up for every nigga. Fuck about every nigga.
I agree with you.
So, what you about to say, bro?
So what I was gonna ask is to your point. The point that you just made, isn't that exactly the reason why we shouldn't be voting for someone like Trump?
We shouldn't be voting for neither.
Where's that going to get us, though?
That's the problem. Where's that going to get us?
Hey, listen, man. The paperwork to exile yourself from the country, you could denounce your citizenship and get $1.5 million and leave the country.
No, you can't. No, the fuck you can't, Ma. We would have, every last one of us would have did that shit.
I bet you can.
Bruh, okay.
I bet you people have done it already.
Figure that shit out, and I'm with you. I'm coming with you. Just know.
Look up the Moorish science and study with the Moors for a couple of years, and you make that decision on your own. Because I'm not doing it. Because once you denounce your citizenship, they give you the 1.5 million, but you gotta go. You gotta go. And in the 60s, over 100 black people did it with this information because I studied Moorish science. I don't fuck about politics because I'm here until I die. You know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to be an American.
So Maul, just real quick, I want us to get back to this, but I do have a question for you. 1.5 million. The government is not going to just give you 1.5 million for nothing. So what are you getting in exchange, or what are they getting in exchange for 1.5 million?
It's a paperwork where I've read it years ago. People had it. A couple of dudes, the professor, I think it was Large Professor, a couple dudes I know that was talking about it. that was deep into the science and shit. The professor from LES, and he used to walk around with the paperwork. It's this thick. You fill it out, you could denounce your citizenship. Only certain Moors know about it. You know what I'm saying?
That's cool. So anybody could, I guess, denounce their citizenship, right?
And you
Because
could get $1.5 million from the government.
Bro,
but what
But you're going from the country.
What is the what is? I'm sorry, Z. What is the $1.5 million? What is it in exchange for, though?
That's your bond. When you
Okay.
born and you get a birth certificate, right? You will probably never get a copy of your original birth certificate. If you do, it's gonna have stamps from every other country because they use us as bargaining chips. We are the gold and silver and the money. So when you born, that's why they sign you into a contract. That's why they take your baby into a back and put your baby handprint and footprint on a piece of paper because the gold that's supposed to be back the country, the gold, we are the gold and silver. You know what I'm saying? So the gold that they have in the reservoir, wherever they have it
You talking about
reserved,
it like in Fort Knox or the
and
reserve,
Fort Knox
Federal Reserve,
is actually backed by the people. You know what I'm saying? So they sign you into all the babies. Ever since they implemented that system when they started implementing social securities to keep track of everybody.
I'm sorry,
because everybody's the money. The people spend the money.
Yeah, I got it. I gotta challenge your wisdom, man. I gotta challenge.
It's
I gotta challenge your
irrefutable.
wisdom, God.
You can because over 100 other people, more than 1,000 people know about this. You just didn't study it.
Let's go to Large Professor's Twitter right now and see if he's in America or not. And that'll kind of answer everything you're saying. See where that nigga's at.
His name was the Professor. I met him in school, and he brought me to Nice and Smooth studio. I met True Life, brother. I think I seen True Life one time before he got locked up.
Wait, are you talking about
Jim Jones situation?
Are you talking about Large Professor, the from
Main Source?
Main Source?
I think that's what he called him. His name was the Professor. He knew Nice and Smooth. I'm not a music dick right now. So if I meet you in school, I meet you in the street, and you tell me who you are, I don't give a fuck if you say you was John Gotti. You know what I'm saying? We met in school, and the HPD building, 100 Gold Street, going to school for advanced building maintenance.
Hollis or Hollywood? Where's Large Professor, D?
Say that again, Z. I'm sorry.
Hollis or Hollywood? Where's
the Professor or Large? I don't know if I got it confused if it was Large Professor or the Professor, but they both know each other. I think they know of each other. The Professor and Large Professor, they call him the Professor, but he used to live on LES, and he was teaching that's when I started learning about Moorish science and all that sovereignty and who P. Luma D was, Ashanti Shakur, and George Jackson. You know, shit that go over niggas' heads when they just be rambling about shit with the real foundation of this shit. You know what I'm saying? So it was and then those brothers had the documents, you know what I'm saying? And I heard a story in like the 60s where 100 or maybe 50 some people did that shit all together and left to go to Africa, and they started their own shit, and only select few people could even know about that shit. I shouldn't even be talking about that shit.
So what you're saying is what you're advocating for is that given the current election results, if Black people are truly unhappy, we should go ahead and do the knowledge on this and seek ways to secure that $1.5 million in exchange for our birth certificate bond so that we can leave the country.
That's all it is.
Okay. All right. That's interesting. And I want us to talk more about that because there's a lot of questions that I have about that. But so I wanted to just get back, and I think the last point I was just trying to figure out and recapture my thought because I couldn't remember it. So I think the point that I had made was that I just don't understand how Black folks in this country being clear about Trump's racist ways and inclinations and sensibilities, how they could vote for him. You're saying that there's racism on both sides. So there's racism on the Democratic side, racism, if we're looking at it in terms of parties, political parties, popular political parties, there's racism on Democratic side, racist on Republican side. But if we just remove political parties, and you just looking at these two people, right? Why wouldn't you be inclined to vote for the person that's most likely to have your interest in the interests of your community at heart?
Who's that?
That's what I'm asking. Like, why would
I don't know who has my I don't know who has my interest in my community at heart.
Well,
because like I said, like when I fell for the Barack Obama rhetoric, you know what I'm saying, thinking that he had the interest in my community at heart, nothing happened.
Okay, so let me ask you this, right?
Barack took big meats down.
Z, just
and got
one
Saddam
point.
Hussein and Bin Laden.
Just 1 point. So, one of the things that I think is important and worth noting is that change doesn't happen overwhelmingly in a short period of time. It's
Correct.
incremental, right? So for me, when I'm thinking about somebody like Kamala Harris and I'm voting for her, like I said, I think she was the person that could best focus on the needs socially and economically of the Black and brown community, right? And then when I think about that in the context of economic progress compared to Trump, she was also the one that was willing to grant a $25,000 concession to new homeowners, right? So when we think about closing the wealth gap or even starting to establish, this thing of legacy wealth in the Black community, it often starts with owning real estate, right? So if you're granting people that have been historically disenfranchised and denied loans, right? Or, whether it's on the basis of color or credit score, a $25,000 concession, tax concession is really big, right? To help people
game changer.
get to that point.
Game changer.
Right? So I didn't hear Trump do anything like that. So when I think about that fundamentally, that in and of itself represents a leg up, a social and economic leg up for Black and brown communities that have been long disenfranchised.
So
I never heard Trump
I got one question
for any type of concession like that. Go ahead, Mo.
You think that $25,000 would help more than the biggest deportation ever, the Black community?
I think we're talking about apples
I'd
and
rather
oranges
the
right
biggest
now.
deportation ever than $25,000 because I know.
But more, I think we're talking apples and oranges now. You're talking about a security issue, right? I'm talking about Black wealth starting and families being able to start this process of generational wealth through the acquisition of real estate that they can pass down from generation to generation, and that has proven to appreciate with value no matter where you live at in this country.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I think what you're talking about is a security matter. We're talking about Black people having access to resources that can start the process of generational wealth and economic
upliftment. We've been had the resources. We've been free for a long time. That's a lot of niggas ain't on the same page.
Great question, D.
All right, so let me rebut that. So, like with the migrants getting like $150,000 towards a home.
I never heard that. Yeah, I never heard that.
It's a real thing. So,
bro,
like,
what you eat don't make me.
Can I fucking talk, bro?
You've been talking for a good 45 minutes.
I didn't say shit. Yeah,
y'all two been debating and arguing.
Y'all been talking the entire time.
That's what we need, though.
For the rest of the show.
We need some debating and arguing.
I'm shutting the fuck up for the rest of the show.
Go ahead, man. Go ahead, bro.
Nah, I'm good, man. I'm good.
No, go ahead. It's important that you
ask
say
you a question. So go ahead. I'm in the wrong. Go ahead. Y'all continue the conversation and shit. Let me know and I can. You know what I'm saying? Let me know.
No, just say what you gotta say, bro.
I got shit to say. Go ahead. He asked you a question.
So you just mentioned
25,000 is two different things.
Go ahead, say that again, Ak. I'm sorry, I was talking. I interrupted.
$150,000 are being pushed to the migrants, asylum seekers. You know what I'm saying, to help out with a home. You got like $15,000 to $20,000 in food stamps and stuff like that to help them out. Whereas Blacks can't like always have to fight to try to get a loan or fight to even get two food stamps because they they said that they made too much money. You know what I mean? And like, you know, situation. See,
don't worry about
I don't need you. I don't need no fucking facial expression. I don't need nothing from you. You hear me? You know what I'm saying?
Good.
And I like I told Zeke, come back on here. Where you at? Come back on here.
I'm listening, nigga. You
I'm
don't
sorry,
need a facial
man.
expression.
I won't say nothing again.
You don't need a facial expression. Go ahead. I'll be back when you're done. Go ahead, family.
God. All right. So as I told Z, as I told Z, you know, and you see that shit? See, as I told Z, like, if you're a person that's looking for safety and you say, yo, I heard that America's opening up on the doors for, you know what I'm saying, us to come through and find a safe refuge from things like that. You know what I'm saying? That's one thing. But we have to understand that some people like to just to get the hookup. And there's a lot of people that came through just to get the hookup because they were offering this hookup. You know what I'm saying? So when Kamala is offering this to 25K, you know what I'm saying? This could have been offered while she was in office for 3 years. It wasn't even mentioned until
she's
it was
not the president,
a bargaining chip, you know what I'm saying, for the election.
But she's not the president.
I know, but she was the vice president. She could have made suggestions. She could have pushed that. She could have pushed that on the table.
Yeah,
right or wrong.
But
she wanted Megan Thee Stallion to shake her ass for her.
She got Megan Thee Stallion, and she was dancing with Beyonce. You know what I'm saying? Out here pushing this narrative because they know that black people like to dance and black people like to party. You know what I'm saying?
Can I ask a question?
Brother, that's just called appropriate engagement. That's all that's called. And I think we need to be able to recognize that
shaking your ass appropriate engagement.
Yeah, no, I'm not talking about that.
No, that shit is horrible too.
Yeah,
man.
I'm not talking about
that. That offended the hell out of my sensibilities. And like, if there was anybody else to vote for that had a chance of winning other than Kamala Harris at that time, that wasn't a card-carrying racist, I would have voted for them because I absolutely thought that I was offended. I'm offended that the Democrats pander to the lowest common denominator of black people. I was offended that Kamala Harris's main campaign position was girl power. Oh, look at me. I know Beyonce. Oh, Quavo's my friend. All this other weird shit. Like, it was terrible. It was utterly terrible.
Very.
But what has been lined out by the Republicans is worse. Project 2025 is worse. Women not having a choice as to whether or not they can receive an abortion, the potential of that is worse. Like, stacking these judges with these courts with conservative judges is worse. Not getting offered $25,000 as a first-time homeowner is worse. Like, there's so much shit that is worse in regards to the Trump campaign. The knee-jerk reaction against Harris, the knee-jerk reaction against we have more to lose than we think we do because we have been in a comfortable generation compared to those of the past. Correct. We haven't really felt the sting of having to fucking go and sharecrop or go and do some shit all day only to give the rations to only to give everything to somebody else and receive rations for that. We have not
small fraction.
We don't get that. We do not understand that. All of the stories of the ancestors, we just roll our eyes at this point.
No,
but it can happen.
No, man. I don't think people are rolling their eyes at that.
Can I say something? I want to say something real quick.
I'm not talking to you, Ak. I'm talking to the masses of people that let this shit happen. If you fall into that, then I am talking to you. But I'm literally talking to the masses of people that let this shit happen. Like the transgender situation, all of that offends me too. Obama's emphasis on everybody else other than who the hell we thought he was. He ran. All of that offends me too. But we still have tangible steps forward that we have the opportunity to lose by not engaging in the political process correctly and by not being students of history. If you're a student of history, Trump's rhetoric, the people that he has surrounded himself with, it should legitimately terrify from a political perspective. It should legitimately terrify.
You motherfuckers should be frightened and fearful that Steve Bannon can possibly be informing and guiding Trump's decision-making process for the next 4 years. And if you're not, you are absolutely fucking delusional, as well as Elon Musk.
That shit right there scares me.
And can I say something real quick? Because I know I use the term appropriate engagement. And to your point, I found that stuff actually appalling. I even found Cardi B getting up there and sputtering through an attempt at making a speech very cringy as well. But what I was trying to say is that what happens with these political rallies is they try to meet the audience where they are. And that's why whenever the approach, the intent, the idea is to speak with and engage with a black audience, there's always music accompanying that process, because they feel like the majority of us, that's the best way to connect with us, which
for the ones
I don't agree with.
For the ones they don't think will vote.
Right.
The ones they don't think that they truly don't know how to engage. But I mean, even Biden's push for student loan forgiveness, like, how is that not appealing to people? How is that not appealing?
Like, he took it back.
He didn't take anything back. What are you talking about?
What are you talking about? I got, like, there's a fucking $12,000 fucking a month, $1,200 a month loan that was promised that it was going to be taken back, and now it's in the.
Do you know why? Do you know why? Do you know why?
What are you talking about? That's happened. That's happened. Y'all didn't know that happened?
Because the Supreme Court.
No, we're talking about Biden. We're not talking about Trump. We're talking about Biden, nigga.
Listen. The reason why that did not go through was because the conservative Supreme Court, that is conservative because of Trump's appointees, said that shit was not constitutional. That's why that shit didn't go through, because it literally got that fucking high and Republicans snapped that shit down. That's the only way that couldn't go through. That's the mother.
And these to Z's point.
All I know is that in his administration, that happened. I didn't know that. My bad. I didn't know that. I'm telling you right now, I didn't know that.
I get it. But the frustrating thing for me is so much of this, like, literally Harris would be in office if people just understood. Motherfuckers don't get it.
Yeah.
Like, people don't get it. Like, you gotta know
what, Z?
What I just told you. People,
I think all people.
You think that Biden actually said, "Hey, I'm going to forgive student loans," and then he said, "Oh, psych"? You think that's what the fuck happened?
That's not what the fuck happened. You just told me it wouldn't happen, right? It happened.
The problem is,
it's in my fucking house right now, nigga. You know what I'm saying? What the fuck you talking about? So what the fuck? I don't give a fuck about the dynamic of the shit. It's fucking happening. Niggas gotta pay that shit.
I'm getting cussed out because you think that Biden said nope.
It happened during his administration.
The problem is this: whenever we get an opportunity to put new people in office, we, on a large scale, we don't do the homework that we need to do to elect the people that are going to best serve our interest.
Facts.
Right? That's what the issue is. And then beyond that is many of us just vote off of emotion, or we vote for superficial things that really don't make a difference long term.
Facts.
So if Trump gets in office, I mean, not Trump, he's dead, but if Trump is in office and during the course of the next 4 years, he has this great idea to say, all right, here's some more stimmies. Everybody's suffering and you wanted these. Here's $200 or $500 checks, right? Here's some $500 checks for the next year, and you'll get them every 3 months. Those are not free.
Exactly.
Okay.
Those are not free. What it means is maybe not under his presidency, but whoever comes in after him, we're going to see higher taxes, right? The cost of goods are going to go up.
The babies are going to go up.
And in the long term, our children are going to suffer from it. So if we just went ahead and spent the time to just dive into the people that that are on the ballots to find out how they're serving our interests and just do the homework instead of voting off of emotion or doing what's called legacy voting because mom voted and dad voted and their grandparents voted and do the homework. and this is particularly important for our community, right? Because we're so misguided and we're so sort of fixated on this idea of Trump coming back in office and giving away stimmies and PPP loans and all
My
of that
phone
stuff,
about to
and
die.
not
I'm gonna
thinking
put it on the
about
charger. I'm gonna call.
all
I'm
right,
gonna call back in.
all right, and not thinking about what the long term effect is. We get these type of issues.
So, like with the like, do you think that our parents and our great grandparents like kind of coerce the movement of people to vote Democrat?
In 1963, Fannie Lou Hamer and the Mississippi Freedom Democratic Party staged a sit-in at the Democratic National Convention that integrated the, up until that point, far-right racist Democratic Party. The party of Strom Thurmond, the party of these like extremely racist like motherfuckers. Then once it was integrated by Fannie Lou Hamer and the Mississippi Freedom Democratic Party, then ended up switching from the party of Douglas and Lincoln to the party of Obama and like these other motherfuckers. But there was a switch in the party once the party was integrated.
Mm.
And once that integration happened, those conservative Democrats who were the KKK, who were card-carrying racists, became conservative Republicans.
That's called that's called political party white flight.
Literally, it was literally white flight. There was a switch. There was a switch in the parties once the Democratic Party was integrated. It was deep in the South in Mississippi in 1963. Fannie Lou Hamer, the sister that we all know the name, but we don't know what the fuck she did. Why the fuck? That's what the fuck she did. She integrated the Democratic Party. Once that happened, the super staunch racist whites ended up becoming Republicans. And that's the modern day Republican Party. Now, that's not to say that the white people in the Democratic Party aren't racist as well. They definitely are. My biggest pushback on the Democrats, and why I'm not a Democrat, I just vote democratically because these other motherfuckers are way worse. My pushback on the Democrats is the Democratic Party is, anytime your base is made up of Baptist preachers and transgenders, everybody is uncomfortable. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't really organize that because you find yourself in rooms with people that you are aligned with under the auspice of politics that you legitimately really don't align with. The Republican Party is way more simple. The Republican Party just says, bring things, the Conservative Party, conserve things, bring things back to the way that they were. Be conservative, a fiscal conservative, somebody that wants to conserve, doesn't want to spend very much. So you see pushback on student loan forgiveness because they're being conservative. That's what a fiscal conservative is. Somebody that's politically conservative believes in small government. They believe in states' rights instead of federal government rights. So they believe in overturning Roe versus Wade because they don't believe that it should be up to the federal government to say whether or not a woman can have an abortion. They believe that it should be down to the states, whatever state you fall in. Political conservative, right? Philosophically, black people are more conservative than any of these motherfuckers. That's philosophically how we get down. If we talk about God, family, God and family, what the Conservative Party claims to stand for, that's what African people have been about for 500,000 years before white people were ever invented. And that's where things get confusing, because the Democratic Party, especially as of late, due to the progressive wing of the Democratic Party, which is the
woke culture,
which is the I hate the term. I hate what white people did to woke, and I don't use woke in that way. But
woke,
the culture of the conflation of and Obama did it, and this is why I'm mad as hell at Obama. And I've gone back and forth with my grandma, God rest her soul. I've gone back and forth with my mother. The conflation of Martin Luther King and Southern Baptist liberation theology with men that feel as though will look you in the face and tell you that they are a woman, and women that will look you in the face that will tell you that they are men, and saying that those two people should be at the same fucking table, and we're not going to make any other fucking table, so you just got to sit here. But before you sit here, what are your pronouns? That's my problem with the fucking Democratic Party. My problem with the Democratic Party is my problem with the Republican Party now. You lit the minority of fucking nut jobs. The minority of nut jobs on the Democratic side say that yeah, a man can cut off his penis and be a woman. That's the minority of nut jobs on the liberal side. The minority of nut jobs on the conservative side think that black people need to go back to Africa, think that we are 3/5 of a human, think that all of this, think that we are akin to gorillas, right? That's the fucking the minority on the conservative side.
And that's the MAGA movement.
And the problem with both sides is that both sides have allowed the afflicted ass retarded, for lack of a better term, minority lead the fucking way. The minority is at the front of both parties. The transgender shit is at the front of the Liberal Party, and the right-wing nut jobs that think black people are 3/5 of a man are at the head of the Conservative Party. And right now, the Conservative Party is in the motherfucking driver's seat. And for me, I can't say if it's between a motherfucker that like. If it's between the two, a motherfucker thinking, a dude thinking that he's a bitch, or a dude thinking that I'm a monkey, I'm gonna deal with the dude that thinks he's a bitch.
Huh?
If it's between dealing with a dude that thinks he's a woman and a man that thinks that I'm less than a man, I'm going to deal with the dude that thinks he's a woman.
If you believe that the motherfucker or whatever he said, and you agree to his saying, and that's
I'm not agreeing to shit. I'm saying,
okay. So you know what I'm saying? Like, if I see a dude that cut his dick off, you know what I'm saying, and he's saying that he's a fucking woman, I'm like, nah, I'm not gonna be with that motherfucker like that. You know what I'm saying? What are you talking about?
I'm not gonna be
with the person's perception is his perception. They created this perception, and you believe this shit.
It's not believing it. It's not believing it. I don't think it's believing it. I think it's picking the lesser of two evils, and then also recognizing
a cut off dick is a lesser.
No. But listen to me. It's picking the lesser of two evils, and then recognizing which one of those evils is least likely to impede your progress.
Yes, thank you.
You know what I mean?
Thank you. That's the thing.
Women was
That's the thing. If no matter what type of.
Can I say something, bro? Come on, man. Hold on, man.
No.
Can I say something, man?
No matter, real quick. Can I just please, real quick? I haven't said shit this whole time, bro. I haven't said shit this whole time, other than the shit that I've said. Listen, bro. Listen. Listen.
I forgot my shit.
You can shield your son from the motherfuckers that want to make men feel as though they can be women and women feel as though they can be men. You can shield your son from that by being the man that you are and by being the father that you are. What you can't shield your son from, unfortunately, is a motherfucker that targets him because of nothing other than who they think that he is based on his skin color.
Okay.
That's the difference, bro. That's the level of importance, and that's the level of priority. I can tell by the way you scratching the back of your fucking head, you missed it. Go ahead, man. What? Go ahead, man. Just go ahead. Whatever, man. Go ahead. Let's talk about it, brother.
For all through the Biden administration, women been fighting for the dynamic of what is a fucking woman. You know what I'm saying? like they've been fighting because they've been being called a cis woman. You know what I mean? Because of the woke culture that was presented and pushed through the Democratic Party.
That's
why, you know what I mean? Heavily, especially through Barack Obama. You know what I mean? It got to the point that it was invited to the barbecue and all this yes and all that shit like that rhetoric started happening. You know what I mean? And it was like, and women were promoting that shit. You could be whatever the fuck you want to be, girl. You know what I'm saying? Okay, well, I'm gonna cut my fucking dick off. You know what I'm saying? I'm better than you. Matter of fact, I'm gonna lead the fucking movement. You know what I mean? That's what happened during Biden and fucking Barack Obama's term. You know what I'm saying? Donnie says he's only gonna fucking fuck with male and female. He ain't doing all this they them shit. You know what I'm saying? Oh my God, he's a racist. You know what I mean? Everybody's a fucking racist. First of all, you know what I'm saying? To a certain extent.
How do you just skip over the shit that he says, though? You just
I don't skip over the shit. I laugh at the shit that he said because he's fucking stupid. But my thing is that, you know what I'm saying? Like when you just gave me this talking point about how, you know what I'm saying, like, or you'd rather be with the nigga with the dick cut off than an actual person that's a racist and shit like that. You know what I'm
saying? You taking that shit very literally.
You know what he said? Why would the fuck would he say that shit?
You know when Donnie, when quote unquote Donnie's racism wasn't.
Can I finish, bro? You didn't have like 20 minutes, bro.
Donnie's racism was funny when he wasn't the leader of the free fucking world.
I'm scared.
It's not funny anymore, dog.
I know, I understand what you're saying, but like I said, I'm talking about an aspect of.
It's funny when he was on the Apprentice.
The women during that time were fighting for their identity. You know what I'm saying? People forgot about that shit.
What women?
Natural women.
Yeah.
Birth mothers.
Yeah.
Not cis. They've been fighting this whole fucking time do Biden's term.
Yeah.
Fighting to be considered a woman.
Been fighting white men.
Yeah, that wants to be woman. That think that they better than women. Yep. That it was open to have you can go in if you identify as a woman.
The Bussy Brigade.
What was that?
The Bussy Brigade.
Yeah, that. Matter of fact, go in there with my daughter. You know what I'm saying? My daughter's in there, so they go ahead and go in there with my daughter and take a stand and piss. You know what I mean? This was allowed during the Democratic situation. That's some bullshit.
Who was it?
But hold up, bro. I had to go and almost had to fuck up a preacher at the school because I went to the school and my wife had to get me out of there. Because I went to the school and my son was getting his tux for his recital. The dude's talking about, oh yeah, what would you like? Would you like a dress? Would you like whoa, stop? We're gonna bring that right back. Why the fuck would you ask him if he needed a dress? Oh, we gotta ask this right now. No, the fuck you don't. You know he's a fucking man. You know what I'm saying? And like Lisa had to get me out of there. Like, yo, what the fuck is wrong with you? Well, I'm a preacher. I'm gonna fuck if you're a preacher, bro. Don't ever ask my son ever again. You know what I'm saying? Do he want a dress?
Why you going for the preacher, man? Like the dude is just trying to.
He told me he was a preacher. I didn't know he was a fucking preacher.
No. I know. The point that I just wanted to say, the dude is probably pushed to to stand on this thing of inclusivity. But but the thing is that your son is very clear on who he is, right? So even if the dude asks the question, your son knows where he stands and what he's supposed to select. There's nothing ambiguous to your son about that, right? Like he's very clear on what the selection is supposed to be.
It's ambiguous to me as a father, walking up here and somebody giving him the option to wear a dress.
But
that's some bullshit.
Can we all agree that that's not his battle because he's definitely a dude because of you? He's definitely a dude. There's nothing feminine about my nephew.
Hold up, the situation is that I'm not questioning my son's
able to do your job, right? Because there's nothing that can stop you from doing your job as a father to make a upright young man of your son.
Yeah, but that's not the situation. It's the fact that the options are available.
That's not what he has the potential to fall prey to, though, because of you.
Him.
The things
what about men? What about men kids that don't have their father in their life?
Fuck, bro. Them little niggas, man. Look, fuck them kids. As far as my nephew is concerned, you have laid with
my nephew is not the issue, Z.
Then you just
it's the option. It's the story I'm telling you about the situation that's talking about the options that they have available. And now it's like a floodgate happening in that action. That's an invasion on women.
Would you rather a motherfucker asking him if he wanted a suit or a dress, or a motherfucker telling him that he needed to come in the back entrance? Which one would you prefer?
Facts. That's a good
ask me
example.
The question again.
It's a good example.
Ask me the question again.
Would you prefer a motherfucker asking your son whether or not he needs a suit or a dress, or that same motherfucker telling your son that he cannot enter in the front and he needs to go around to the back?
And let me further qualify that by saying this. Asking, would you prefer or pants or whatever the option was, versus him saying, "Hey, little nigga, you little monkey, come through the back door because you're not allowed to come in through the front door." Which option would you rather?
I know my kid. You know what I'm saying?
No, what option, brother? Answer the question.
What option would I prefer?
He didn't ask you if you knew your child.
Well, I would equip my son and said that you don't really have to make a choice. You know what I'm saying?
Answer the question.
You could just walk away.
Oh my God. Okay. All right.
You could just walk away. You don't have to make the choice.
Yeah, just walk away.
Everybody tells you, but hold up. Everybody tells you got to make a choice. So you could have chose Green Party. You could have chose Robert F. Kennedy.
Yo.
You know what I'm saying? But the choices that they kept promoting was Democrat and Republican.
Listen, we know that there's a lot of things that we have the benefit of free will for, right? We know that, right? We know that we don't have to choose anything. We don't have to do anything, right? But there's some things that we have to make a choice about. You know what I mean? And sometimes, depending on what options we're looking at, both choices are not the best ones, right? And not ideal. But we have to choose one that is not going to impede our progress. Your son knows exactly who he is in this world. He stands resolute in his manhood and being a male, right?
Not the point of my son. Not the point of my son.
No. I know, but listen, he's very clear on who he is as a young man and where he stands, right, in his sexuality. Right, that's very clear. There's nothing ambiguous about that to him or you.
Okay,
right. So the thing is that whenever somebody comes to him and they say, "Well, listen, because I gotta ask this question because of this whole DEI or inclusivity requirements, I gotta ask you, do you want pants or a dress?" Your son understands.
I'd have respected that more.
No, but hold on a second. But maybe not everybody is going to phrase it that way, right? But your son understands that living in the day and age that we are now, that question might be a necessity. And because of who he is, he doesn't get offended by it. He's like, "I want pants. I'm good. I know who I am." Mm-hmm. Right? But whereas on the flip side of that, somebody says, "Nah, little nigga, you can't come through the front door. I don't care who you think you are, or I don't care how you regard yourself or how you put yourself up here and think highly about who you are and who you're going to become in the future. You come through the back door because you're not worthy to come through the front door because you are not white."
Mm-hmm. They do that now.
Oh, bro, come on, man.
They do that now. I mean, what
question, bro? Can't you answer the question?
They do that now. What are we talking about?
Me and D have both asked you the same question 4 times, bro.
They do that now. What are you talking about?
Bro, listen. Okay, bro. All right, bro. Listen, bro.
You think they don't do that now? You think that, you know what I'm saying? They're more accepting now?
We level on something, though. Like, we don't need to, like, be in
I'm not debating. I'm critically thinking about these situations in these labels.
Asked you either or, and you responded, they do that now.
They do that now.
That's deflection, bro.
No, it's not deflection. I don't have to make a choice.
If I give you a choice between apple and orange and you choose elephant, my guy, like there's no point in having a conversation. Yes, free will, my nigga. You can choose whatever the fuck. That's kind of the liberal perspective. You being very liberal right now, bro. You can choose anything, including woman. You can choose anything. But if we want to have a debate that's rooted in logic, if we want to have a debate and a conversation that's rooted in the logic, bro, you got to be willing to play fucking ball. We can't have two goddamn tennis rackets and shit on a tennis court, and you come with a goddamn football.
Bro. But it's okay to accept woke culture.